Welcome to Learning Unit number 3. We move along quickly in this course as we do in all of our courses because they're in the minis. So in unit number 3, we're going to be talking more about legislation and politics, and we're going to be doing a SWOT analysis. So by the end of this learning unit, you're going to be able to identify an individual, whether that's a legislator, a legislative staff member, an officer at a professional nursing organization, as a person who is an appropriate champion for your chosen healthcare policy topic. Who's going to champion your cause? And you're going to create a SWOT analysis on this champion's ability to address the healthcare policy issue. And then you're going to be able to discuss the structure of the government, the political process, and politics to advance legislation. So I know it sounds like a lot, but let's get into it. So first of all, I want you to read chapter 5. And I think this is going to be a very helpful chapter for the work that you're going to be doing. So I think you can use it as a resource. So it's on policy enactment, legislation, and politics. Then throughout this course, but starting now, I'd like you to review the information that's found in chapter 12. Just to scan and review. I'm not asking you to read every word. I want you to see what resources are available to you as you go through this course and after you go through this course. And this chapter is entitled An Insider's Guide to Engaging in Policy Activities. So I think you're just going to find that to be another great resource, and it's chapter 12. So then you're doing the online activities, which include finally participating in a video, or you can choose to turn off your camera and just do an audio discussion using Flip, and I'll talk about that. And you're completing assignment 2, which is choosing a champion, and then a SWOT analysis of that champion and submitting it to the Dropbox. So let's talk about how you're going to go about doing this. This is your assignment number 2 for the planned change policy, and you can read the instructions here. Because no champion will be perfect for every issue, nurse leaders need to be able to perform an objective analysis of that individual's ability. So I'd like you to determine 2 to 3 strengths, 2 to 3 weaknesses, perhaps opportunities and threats for using your point person to champion a solution for your identified issue. So again, your champion can be a legislator, a legislative staff member, or a person, an elected officer, perhaps of a professional nursing organization. So how you're going to go about doing that, I'm going to give you a bit of an example as we go along. So if you're not familiar with SWOT analysis, there's a nice overview of it and in this community toolbox. So that might be of benefit for you. Another resource. Some of these things are just resources, but if you don't at least investigate and look at what they may offer you, you might miss out. So how to contact elected officials. This is USA Gov, asks you to put in an address, and it will help you find your specific state, local officials, or federal officials. And then there's a wonderful website that you're going to have to look around depending on which health policy issue you're working on, whether it's staffing issues, whichever one of the 3 it is, you're going to have to look around and individualize. But let me just go on to this for a minute. This is the American Nursing Association, but this is their advocacy. And they believe that advocacy is indeed a pillar of nursing. And so it includes legislative and political advocacy as well. So that's what we're really looking at. What I wanted you to know is you can go to the site at any time to see if there's any updates going on. It's all regarding nursing, correct? This is the American Nursing Association. But then there's some great sources that you can click on. So the ANA works with federal lawmakers. You can look at that. Or you can look if you're focusing in more on an issue that's state related, like medical aid in dying is state by state. So that might be more medical, that might be more state related. This is the RNA or the ANA RN Action Group. There's a lot of updates there and even a Capital Beat blog. So I had gone to the Capital Beat blog, and while I was there, this was updated, I believe, January of this year. So it gives you a little synopsis of what happened as far as legislation. And, looking through, you get some different information. You can see that there's Workplace Violence Prevention Act. I mean, those are some of the key things that you're working on. Nurse safe staffing and standards, staffing standards. That might be one of your issues. So it gives you kind of an update. What I noted to be the case was a new bill to address nursing faculty shortage being introduced. Now, it was introduced at the Senate level in November of 23, but what I had the opportunity to find was additional information because I thought, okay, where is this Nurse Faculty Shortage Reduction Act, S 2815. Where is it? It was introduced in the House. So where is it? What's going on with that? And I want to share a different source that I located because as a nursing faculty, I'm very interested in this. So this isn't one of your options, but this would be an example. So now I see that in January of this year, there was a press release as far as 4 individuals, representatives of Oregon, Ohio, Illinois, and Virginia, introducing legislation to help address the nursing shortage by doing something specific, increasing the number of faculty at nursing schools. So then I also understand that the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, the AACN, is involved in this. Perhaps maybe one of my champions could be someone from there. That U.S. nursing schools are turning away 91,000 qualified applicants. Why? Mostly because of insufficient number of faculty. Why is there insufficient number of faculty? Because of the pay discrepancies. In clinical practice, one can make a lot more money perhaps than in nursing education. So this is going to create a grant program to help universities close this pay gap between clinical nursing and nurse faculty roles. But of course, we'd have to be an organization that serves vulnerable populations and recruits faculty from underrepresented backgrounds. So that's important, and it's absolutely a wonderful way to go forward. So now we start hearing about the congresswomen that are involved. She is co-chairing, and now I'm hearing another new term, the Congressional Nursing Caucus. So I've also looked up more information about this Congressional Nursing Caucus and who is on it, but why, and then I can go to her bio to find out more about her. But then I also see that Congressman Joyce is also another, he's the co-chair, I do believe, and that there are other Congress people that are involved, one being a nurse. And so more about the Nursing Caucus. So I've been looking at this information, sharing this actually with the Board of Trustees, and I put together like a elevator speech about to our Board of Trustees at Mercyhurst University. And one of the things that I found is a fact sheet, and this fact sheet is really nice, very succinct. As far as this Nurse Faculty Shortage Reduction Act. So it gives some of the issues as far as why, how this is going to impact positively on our nursing shortage. If you don't have enough faculty to educate new nurses, then you're going to continue to have a nursing shortage. So this is going to be some information that I could use specifically for my elevator speech. So I just wanted to show you kind of how looking at this different information will allow you to develop what you need to develop your minute elevator speech and also your SWOT analysis. So let's get back to the course again. So for your flip this week, instead of a written discussion board, you're doing an elevator speech. And I want you to create an if possible, under 1 minute speech. And this is something that you would pitch to your champion, similar to a sales pitch. Open with a statement that really grabs attention and says a lot in a few words. And then you're going to address 5 issues for this elevator speech. You're going to, Flip is going to turn you off after 1 minute, 30 seconds. So if you go over a few seconds, don't worry. But the whole point is that you could accomplish this while on an elevator, and unless you have 95 floors or something, you're going to need to do it in about a minute. So start with you. Tell why, who you are, in a way that the champion can quickly understand the connection you have to the issue. Why you are interested in this healthcare policy issue, what populations that you are aware of can be impacted, and how healthcare can be improved. Give an example of what needs to be done, and then describe your desired response from the champion. Like, I'm asking that you call me back or make an appointment so I can give you a little bit more in-depth presentation, etc. If you want, you can just turn off your video for Flip and it will do an audio recording. Also take a little time to listen to at least one of your peers' elevator speeches and give feedback on one. It can be very brief feedback, but just give some positive feedback. You don't have to look for additional sources. Just give some feedback to one of your peers. And I just ask you turn your camera on for the feedback. If you want to be looking at a piece of paper, if you're nervous about the 60 seconds, go ahead and just audio record yourself. But otherwise, let's see some happy faces for our feedback time. And that's it for this week. That last little box there was not for you guys. So please give me a call. Just do the best you can and enjoy the process. This is more of a creative process this week as far as picking a champion, but I want you to be able to at least identify who are the major players. Who do you think can help you out as far as contacting? And for instance, when I was looking at what I just shared with you about the faculty shortage, I also went to Erie County for Pennsylvania and looked at my elected officials to assure that if we're looking at the Congress, U.S. Representative Mike Kelly might be somebody I can be speaking to, the Senate. So it just depends on what I'm looking for, but it gives me a little bit more information about being a resident of Erie County, Pennsylvania, who my elected officials are, in case I don't already know, which often is the time. or which is the case. So thank you again and have a great week.